want to show you something. Sit. Go on. Go on. Bubba! Bubba looks good right now, doesn't he? A month ago, I thought he was a dying dog. When you start homesteading, stuff is going to go wrong. Last week, me and accountant Mike talked about some of the things that are going to go wrong while homesteading and how you can plan and prepare and protect your family from them. This is for all of you who are like me, who came into homesteading as an idealist and thought this is going to be amazing. We're going to raise all our own food. We're gonna eat farm fresh eggs every day and farm fresh bacon. We're gonna put all our animals out on grass and it's gonna cure everything and everything's gonna be wonderful and just homesteading solves all of life's problems. And the first year in, you're like, everything just died. Speaking of which, I just got a reminder on my phone to give my dog his Lyme disease medicine. Nice. There you go. Animals get sick. That was like so well timed. My lab Bobo, he got Lyme's disease. I woke up like one day and he looked like a dead dog. So what's wrong with this pup? It's one of those things that it's like, I think it's worse than what it looks. When I first saw him like this yesterday, I thought, oh man, maybe they were roughhousing too much and he like sprained something, or maybe he's got a thorn in his foot. He's got like a little bit of a limp. But I kept watching him through the day, and the biggest sign that what's wrong with him is not just a sprain or something stuck in his foot, is his general energy. This is a hunting dog. He's only 4 years old. He's high drive. He should be running around at least half as excited as Poppy is. He was just like walking and limping. Ugh. And guess what? Lyme disease pill for dogs. Mm-hmm. First off, you can take a test, $30, whether or not they have Lyme disease. Okay. And it turns out he definitely did. It was worth taking the test. Okay. $30 test, and like the pills for your dog's Lyme treatment are like tons. They were like $200, $100. It was a lot for dog, but it's my dog. I'm gonna take care of my dog, so I had to give him medicine. You're gonna have animals get sick, and you might not be factoring that in when you get started. You might not think like, I'm just raising feeder pigs, I'm gonna get them at 8 weeks old. At 6 months, they're going to be at the butcher. There's no chance they're going to get sick. They're going to have a nice life out in the sun, loving life. I had a whole batch of 12 pigs we brought back one year get pneumonia. Alright, we're going to perform our first pig sticking. By that I mean we're giving a pig a shot. We're not killing a pig, hopefully. Yeah, What? Alright, so I just marked that piggy. Now we're going to let him kind of calm down a little bit. Alright, hold on, I'm gonna... Yep, right in the ham. Beauty. Like a pro. So yesterday we noticed that our pigs were starting to develop a cough. Some of them had a short wheeze. So I called up my pig mentor, Tom Dexter. We interviewed Tom a couple videos back, and you can watch that interview there. Tom has been doing pigs his whole life. He knows everything you gotta know about pigs, and I figured I could trust him. So I told Tom what we were seeing, and he said it looked like pneumonia in the pigs. He recommended we hit them up with some penicillin really quick. He said, don't wait. And this is one of those examples where, you know,
you might not want to use antibiotics across the board for all your animals, but when you see pigs that are wheezing, they're having struggle to breathe, the kind thing is to treat them and help them get better. So today we're going to show you the very first time that we are giving shots to pigs. The only kind of shot I've given to a pig before was with a 22. So this should be interesting.
Bunny pose.
Let me mark it first.
Put that on so I don't stab you.
I think, Mama. Okay, she's got a needle. Back away slowly.
Whether or not you choose to use antibiotics in your animals is up to you. We like to tell our customers that we use no unnecessary antibiotics because over the last 4 years of raising pigs and selling them, I've never had to do this. But here we are at the first spot where suddenly I have a whole group of pigs, all of them coughing, looking like they're in pain, like they can't breathe. And if you're trying to farm, you know, do your own small farm so that your animals have a better life, these aren't breeding animals. I'm not breeding a line that's susceptible to something. These are feeders. They've already been bought by my customers. I don't even own most of these pigs. Most of these are already owned by my customers. And we've decided that we don't want to see pigs suffer and die because we're against the use of an antibiotic when appropriate. We have plenty of time for this antibiotic to pass through their system. These pigs will have another 5 months on farm. So there's plenty of time for them to get this antibiotic out of their system, and that way the meat is absolutely perfectly fine for our consumption. And that's a choice we've made. So it's a choice you're going to have to make too when you decide to have your own animals, because eventually, no matter how much you pasture your animals and treat them kind and love and kisses, everything gets sick. So you're going to have to deal with sickness at some time.
Oh.
Yeah, that was scary. 12 pigs, $90 deposit on all those pigs.
Okay.
You know my margins. You've looked at Squash Hollow Farms books.
Uh-huh.
We aren't exactly, you know, rolling in it on our pastured
pigs are a good enterprise for you, though.
They were good. Imagine if all my deposits, I'd already got all those deposits, and then I have 12 pigs, $90 a pig, plus, well, I didn't have them more than a day. So you're the math guy. How much?
Like if they all died? What do you mean?
Is that like almost $1,000 in loss?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
$90 a 12 pigs, yeah.
So surprise cost. I had to get some. It was an easy fix. We got some antibiotics. The pigs kicked their pneumonia. But the point is, you're not going to see some things coming. So that's vet bills. For those of you who've watched our recent videos, you saw we had a big tree come down, wrecked some of our fencing, which meant I
wrecked your paternity leave.
Oh man, the whole week. And I know, like, it didn't take me a whole week to take care of it, but it was every day, like, oh, got it in between storms and stuff. So like every day going outside and like chopping up a tree. I needed a new chainsaw blade. That blade was old, and I am an unskilled sharpener. So yeah. Anyway. It was things like that are going to happen on the homestead, so you have to make sure you factor those in. If a tree falls down and wipes out your fencing, and you put up new fencing, you can amortize that cost, but you still got to cover it.
You're going to need the cash for it in the meantime.
If your animals get sick and you need to give those 12 pigs a pill to make them better, that's not amortized. That's, you know, whatever you spend, $100 on antibiotic, that's added into that group of pigs. Yep. So the point is, there's going to be surprises with homesteading, things you didn't see coming, and you got to be ready, and you got to make sure you log those expenses and incorporate them later when trying to be profitable.
I would say this is a place where I would caution people against getting stuck in sort of an analysis paralysis scenario here, right? Like, I definitely think if you can, you got to put some money aside for, you know, in a little rainy day fund to protect against this sort of thing. But it is impossible to truly understand everything that could possibly happen, right? And just don't try to go too far down that path. You're going to end up getting yourself a little stuck.
Such a good point.
Good. I mean, maybe, I don't know if you've done a YouTube video on this. I can't remember one, about like what sort of things commonly go wrong. You just mentioned a lot of like, basically, what is it going to cost to periodically go to the vet?
Awesome.
Based on the size of your, flock of animals or whatever they are. Like, some of that you can reasonably estimate at least a little bit. You can reasonably estimate, all right, how much is it going to cost me if I have to replace half my fencing because a bulldozer wipes out or tree or something like that. But don't go too far because you'll drive yourself nuts and you can't be ready.
I think you nailed it. Instead of trying to think ahead of everything that's going to go wrong, just have that emergency fund. If you're planning on, you know what, I'm going to spend $1,000 on pigs this year, plan on $1,100. And that $100 will probably not even be needed for the surprise, but it'll be there if it's your first time doing pigs. It will be needed because you'll forget something. Yeah. If it's your 10th time doing pigs, and every time you plan on an extra $100, after 10 years of pigs, that'll be $1,000 that you've held aside. And when something bad happens, you'll be able to cover it. And that you handle after it's happened. So don't try to worry about everything, but great idea for the next YouTube video. That's
I would be very curious to know, because I'm sure at this point you've had enough experience to know, like, okay, let's say you have 10 animals. Like, what's the actual cost of these sort of things going wrong? And maybe if this is not going to be too much for you, like, what sort of probability are we looking at? Like, is it 1 in 3 goats that has a problem? Is it 1 in 10 chickens that dies?
So do the most probable things that will go wrong and what you're likely to spend on them per animal. That's a winner right there. Maybe 2 videos out of that. We'll do a top 5 and a top 10.
All right.
That excerpt came from an interview Accountant Mike and I did all about what to expect cost-wise when you begin homesteading and how to profit from your homestead. Soon there will be a podcast out from that interview, so subscribe to our podcast there. And if you can't wait and you want to see the whole thing right now, that interview video is available. You can watch it in the Homesteady Pioneers library. Click here to become a pioneer. Next week we have a live show all about running a goat business. If you become a pioneer now, you'll be invited to join us for that interview live next week, where you can ask questions about running a business with goats and how to be profitable doing it. I almost forgot to remind you, membership is on sale right now and it will be ending soon, so take advantage of our sale.